My name is Camila Afanador. I'm an assistant professor of graphic design at Florida Atlantic University. I'm going to talk about some experiences of classroom projects for graphic design students, where I see the opportunity to engage them in dialogue about social advocacy and their role in promoting awareness and positive social change. So the process of understanding complex issues can expose the students to research and inquiry towards translating their understanding of complex topics to the creation of communication pieces to make these issues or topics understandable to others. So I take this idea that design activism could be a framework to look into this role of graphic designers, and it's about framing or revealing problematic challenge and call for action. In the case of the specific assignments that I discuss in this presentation, design activism is taken as an activity to better understanding the problem rather than acting as towards one solution. So in graphic design education, this engagement with larger problems can start by exploring the role of visual communication in framing, understanding, shaping, and disseminating knowledge to inform and empower others. Oftentimes, our students would focus more on the shaping part of content for effective communication, but in the case of the projects that I'm showing, they had to take a larger set of roles and practicing specific skills to be able to fulfill the projects. The first one comes from a course on information design, a summer elective, 6 weeks. The assignment was called From Data to Information, and students were asked to choose a topic and engage on research and create an infographic, a scrolling infographic, to communicate this topic to others. We started with a premise that with unstructured information, students can work towards structured information that would eventually create knowledge and wisdom for others to understand. The set of topics that they chose as to work with range from LGBT issues to immigrant rights to crime and unemployment. And the general process after research, selection of sources, selection of facts and materials, and creation of outline and structure was to make these into visual format and a process of iteration week by week to discuss strengths or failings or clarity of the way the students were communicating the issues. So here's a sample of a few finished projects, and there's a heavy use of graphics together with text and images to be able to create different entry points to the issues, and with the use of data in many cases. Here's another sample images of some of the resulting, and that they showcase a little bit how the visual language of information design makes its way into communicating these issues. The second project that I want to discuss is social awareness website in an interactive design course, and the main goal was for students to create these digital experiences to inform, inspire, and involve others. They had to very specifically answer what was the issue, why does it matter, and how can people get involved. And they were tasked into structuring information and content in a way that would fulfill these ideas. So the range of topics, in many cases, were closer to their personal lives, or they had some sort of connection to it, which provided a good entry point for them to be interested and engaged by also practicing their design skills on producing a mock-up of the digital experience. So here are a couple samples of students' projects. This one was a student interested in addressing issues of mixed race identity and how words contribute to the creation of these stereotypes that ultimately affect people that identify as mixed race. So she was creating a little bit of a campaign and a learning resource for others to be more aware of language. This other project looks into wildcat ownership, which is in private hands, which is a big issue that many people are not aware of. And she did a lot of research to understand the problematic, to understand the legislation, and to lead people into action. And this last example is more in the form of a campaign to promote less meat consumption and making people understand the impact of meat consumption. I just want to finish saying that in future iterations, I'm more interested in seeing how these ideas behind activism can turn into action, and how this could be a collective practice with community engagement, where students can engage in actions that are measurable and long-lasting.